AskReddit by Killywags. What is something that is considered normal for a man to do, but if a woman does it then they will receive backlash? Driving an 18-wheeler. They should when I get out. It is just a truck. I can drive a semi, too. I've been in C-130s with women flying in various crew positions lots of times. Pilot, co-pilot, engineer, loadmaster. It's just a machine designed to be flown by people. Going topless. Go bald. Grow a mustache. How dare you? My mother, sisters and aunts have glorious mustaches. Take their shirt off. I have a vivid memory of being 10 or 11 during a very hot summer afternoon. It was right after school and the boys popped their shirts off, so I did too. I was so confused when they all gave me shit and told me to put my shirt back on. We looked the same. P standing up. Freedom is but a funnel away. Have hairy underarms. I noticed my older sil had hairy underarms, like really hairy. When I was a kid and noticed it I asked her why she had hair there and she said it keeps me warm in winter. Lol, I love that woman. Shave your hair off. One of our female teachers in high school shaved their head for St. Baldrick's Foundation and then she kept it like that for a few years after a few kids made fun of her for being bald. She owned the shit out of them. I will be honest, I hid her and I did not like her, but I have so much respect for her and completely changed my opinion of her after that. We still keep in touch 10 years later. Fart. I have shared this story before. When my now husband and I first started seeing one another he said he didn't want anything serious like combing bills or farting in front of one another. So one night I'm sick as a dog and have the worst gas of my life. I'm literally in bed silently crying. I finally crawled out and just hung out in the computer room for a bit. About a year later I told him this and we were so sorry I took it literally and apologized. Stop dyeing grey hair. Deleted. Calling it babysitting when watching their own children. I used to watch my kids during the day. Are you on daddy duty today? Not wanting marriage. I'm a woman in a long-term relationship with a man, over 7 years, and I don't want to get married. People act so shocked when they ask when we're getting engaged, and they always give me the smirk, and I say, oh, I don't want to. I also hate when people talk to my partner like I'm the old ball and chain who's going to be begging for a ring soon. Sit the Iron Throne. They offered the Queen to sit on it when she was touring the UK studios several years ago. She said she wasn't allowed to sit on any nation's throne, fictional or real. Refusing to pick up your kid from school because you're at work. My husband's co-workers give him shit anytime he has to miss work to do childcare, if kid is sick etc. We alternate missing days, but his bosses have outright said why isn't your wife doing this on his days? After a couple years of this, he started bluntly replying that I'm the primary breadwinner so my job is frankly the more important one right now unless something changes at his workplace. Being old. Or even just being a fully grown adult. The first time I got called a MILF I was literally 20 years old. Even 23-year-old women get treated like they are over the hill by many people. I started feeling like my life was over because I didn't know any women who were open about being in their 30s. I had no image in my mind of what my life might look like. Literally just taking a shit. In a public restroom? The audacity. Keep their last name after marriage. Edit. This really blew up. Thank you for the awards. Deleted. Have a child whilst also having a job. Edit. I was actually referring to the stealth demotions and firings, denied promotions, etc. But as people have pointed out, yes, there's mom shaming too. Yes. How can you have a kid and have time to work? Said no one to my husband ever but me all the cracking time. Normal bodily functions. Walk around and be treated fairly in Iran. Speaking of which, I hope all those protests in Iran won't be for nothing. Let's hope for a big change and that women finally can decide themselves whether they wanna wear the headscarf or not. Being assertive. Assertive women seen as dominating and intimidating, but assertive men are seen as having incredible leadership skill and confident and self-assured. Know this by comparing my teacher's commentary on my leadership skills versus my male friend who did exactly the same. Having been raised by assertive women, I found it totally normal. It wasn't until I went out into the world that I noticed that women like this were treated so negatively. It's a shame because there's a lot of untapped leadership talent out there that's being completely ignored. Not to mention the gaslighting of treating assertive women as problematic. Be angry. Yo Yuri Mordio now. Growing up, boys were always joking how they just masturbated and how they get boners. People thought it was funny. But if a girl would have said something like that, it was disgusting. Deleted. Break up and leave the kids. Only get kids for days a month. Or be in a relationship where you put 95% of their care on one partner. I've met too many dads who don't know where their kids go to the doctor or dentist or their kids' preference in clothes or how to give a bath or do anything. They tend to go out with their friends all the time and expect mom to find a babysitter if she wants to go out. Age, gain weight, fart, be sexually active, raise her voice, don't tolerate being interrupted. Going out alone at night. Yep. And if she goes out alone at night and gets attacked, it's somehow her fault too for being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Pissing in public. I remember taking a piss up the side of a pub wall after throwing out time. A girl who was with my group of friends squat down beside me and took a piss. I thought that's fucking weird, then realized I was doing the same thing. Props for realizing your double standard, though. Not being conventionally attractive, especially if you're a fictional woman. That's not to say that conventionally unattractive men don't have it rough in certain situations, but they aren't as likely to meet with as much hostility as an attractive woman can meet with. I'm a conventionally unattractive woman. I'm met with immediate negative assumptions about who I am based on my looks, but if I acknowledge publicly that I'm ugly, it's just the truth. I'm called attention seeking and compliment fishing. It also baffles people that I accept that I am ugly. My appearance won't change. I know it's not nice to look at for everyone, but it's who I am. A. Having sex. B. Not having sex. C. Smiling and laughing a lot. D. Not smiling and laughing enough. E. Not knowing how to cook. F. Not doing house chores. G. Having kids and having a career at the same time. Or not wanting kids at all. Ambition of any sort which does not involve having kids.